Okay, so once again, who I am, not important. What I have to say, very subjective. Could be garbage, could last an hour, I don't know. I try and make this under 10 minutes or 10 minutes. I hear that's like the going time, 10 minutes, but the last one, I had so much to say, and I didn't have it written down, obviously, and I edited it. You know, I'm not great at this. If you didn't like it, suck it, don't watch it. I don't know. It just is what it is. I've been toying around with this, do I need to be a K-pop apologist? No, I don't. I think they know how to handle their own shit. This country, Seoul, that I'm in right now, runs beautifully. And if anybody is offended by that, if anybody is defensive over that, that's your issue, right? That is your issue. I'm not going to fight it. I mean, if you haven't spent time here, and if you haven't, really experienced it, I mean, really, what do you know, right? You really don't. And if it's easy for you to say, well, she's just some crazy old lonely lady, and she's probably over there just getting all kinds of Asian dick, which I'm not, because pretty much Korean guys don't talk to me, and that's okay. That's not what I'm here for. I mean, I wouldn't, anyways. But they don't, they just don't, and that's just the way it is. I suppose if I mingled, if I went to bars and stuff like that, but I don't. I'd like to go to Hongdae and dance and, do all that stuff, but you know what, I kind of feel like a creepy old lady sometimes. It's my own issue, right? So you don't have to make shit up, right? I don't quite understand the feeling that people get, so you're just into Asian dudes, huh? Just Asian boy bands. Like, a friend of mine, and I'm going to call her a friend because I do like her. She called me out in my video, like, oh, so you like Asian boy bands? Yeah, what's the big deal? There's been 1 million of them. Great. What am I going to do? Argue the point with somebody who's not in the ring with me? Somebody who's doesn't understand what I'm going through and what this did for me, doesn't want to hear me say, look, I don't really care what anybody else likes. All I know is that I was at a low point in my life, and 7 men, boys, some were half boys at the time, 7 men, they're men today, 7 men who didn't speak my language, and I didn't speak their language, and I knew very little about their culture. Their music spoke to me in such a way that I dug deep and I rescued me, right? There's a group effort the way I see it now. That's nobody else's business, right? It really isn't. I chose to share that. You want to try and, make it into something sad and lonely? Go ahead. Have a party for one, because I'm not going to play. I, for one, am glad to be happy. I, for one, am glad to have a hold on what has made me miserable for my whole life. I mean, you really want to push people like that? You really want to go, yeah, it's nothing, bullshit? Because I'm pretty sure that the rest of my country is all fucked up, right? Y'all are a mess. You argue over stuff that is stupid. You use your rights wrong. You don't use rights that you have. You elect people that, come on, seriously? I mean, I'm not even, that's a whole nother video. But nobody has any business talking shit about anybody else's behavior, because frankly, we're all asleep at the wheel. Sorry, don't like it, don't care, right? You all get to say what you want, and you've spent years and years and years on the internet going blah, 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 turning women into complete banshees, turning men into complete cucks, and I hate that word. Why? For what? What's it getting you? I mean, what is it doing for you? I don't get it. You're arguing shit. Academia is up here going blah, 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 thinking that the people down here, John Q. Public, know what the fuck they're talking about or care. They don't. They don't know. They don't care. Dissemination of information, it never gets downstairs. Subsequently, the people in the basement are clueless. I don't understand why nobody gets this. I don't have much of an education, right? But if you just pay attention, you see. certain things that are true, right? I mean, how many years are we going to argue about homosexuality? How many? Another 2,000? Another 3,000? I mean, who knows? Who knows how long it's been? It's been since somebody wrote this Bible thing, right? And they wanted to control the sexuality. Look, I would be really happy if everybody would get their fucking noses out of everybody's bedroom, right? Everybody's bedroom, except the bedroom of children, right? We're not talking about crimes against children, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about consenting adults who are allowed to love who they want. Really, really simple. If you don't belong to a certain religion or dogma, if you don't practice it with all your heart and soul, then why are you going to hold on to that bit of dogma? I want everybody who has ever had a feeling of, I wonder what it's like to kiss the same sex. I wonder why that got me excited. I want you to just sit back and go, that doesn't make me gay, and it didn't matter if it did. We all go through all kinds of changes as we're maturing. I mean, how many years do we have to do this before things change? It's like, who cares? I mean, who cares, right? That's the first thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is, not all cultures see affection as homosexuality. And this is the real thing I really want to speak about. I really want to talk about the blackout, the media blackout for BTS. I'm going to go about it really quickly because I don't think anybody gives a shit about nuance. If you have a problem with something I say, you'll make a comment about it or you'll make a video about it and you'll do what you do, and then we'll go back and forth, and it's business as usual. So hopefully I can be articulate. These are ideas I have about the BTS Media Blackout. Now, Hallyu Back, they're two really smart people. They've lived here in Korea for several years. They're back in the States now, I think so. And but they have a lot of information. Hallyu Back, check on the notes below. They're great. Subscribe to them. And she paints. You can watch her on Twitch, and she paints and listens to K-pop. They're a great couple. You'll love them. They made a comment about big houses, that the big record companies here, might not really like the attention, or, Big Hit Entertainment is a smaller record company. And I think it goes even a little further than that, right? I think that we know that in the past, that a lot of K-pop artists, at least most of us know this stuff, might be new to some of you, K-pop artists were often signed to very long contracts. They also signed no dating clauses. Once they debuted, which means once their first album goes out, any money that they make, they need to start paying back their record company. Now, that's kind of standard. I mean, I know that regular record companies will do that, get reimbursed for it. But here, they kind of raise the kids, the girls and the boys, right? Because they come here at 14, 15, sometimes younger, and they train, they learn acting, singing, dancing, all these things that you say are manufactured. These manufactured bands work harder than most of you Americans. Harder. They're practicing from midnight to 6 a.m. They're sacrificing all of their social time. All of their social time. Everything you know as a Westerner about your free time, you can forget about. It is not anything like you know. Now, was it great like that? There are some that would say yes, and there are some that would say no. I'm going to say it's not my country, not my industry. I don't think I would like it, but you know what? Whatever works for them. Hitman Bang has decided that he wanted to run things a little differently. I got to give him this. I think it's a good idea, right? I think it's a great idea, actually. I'm not being very intellectually honest right now when I say to you that the other way was okay. But see, I'm in another country. I'm in somebody else's country. And I don't feel like me trashing them, the other record companies, does anything. They know what they do. I know what they do. It's either going to change or it's not, right? The Koreans know. South Koreans know exactly how things are run. People will either change things or they will not, or they will change over time. I'm getting off topic. In any event, I would not be surprised if some bigger houses felt like with Hitman allowing the men and women, I don't know if anybody else has these type of contracts, but Bangtan Soyeon, BTS does. They have more creative freedom. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're making their own money if they do collaborations with their, sponsors and stuff like that. I think that they make their own money on that as well. They've been taught to produce, write, everything. They're taught all of the aspects of the industry that they're in. Again, it's teaching a man to fish instead of giving him a fish. They don't have no dating contracts. Imagine that. Imagine signing something that said you cannot go on a date. And we saw what happened to certain K-pop idols when they get caught out in public. Unlike the U.S., here, when you follow rules, you're supposed to follow the rules, right? It's not a blatant disregard for rules. They really take this shit seriously. I mean, kissing is still a really big deal on TV here. It's wonderful. They've brought back sexy when it comes to kissing. I mean, that's awesome. The lifting of the shirt of a man to see his abs, that's wild. I love it. It leaves so much to the imagination. They're seducing you, and it is wonderful. That's how sex is supposed to be. Seduce me, make me want more, right? I mean, you can see somebody naked, or you can just like peek. Let me peek all day long. Let me just give me a little bit and then take it away. I'm on the hook. I'm on the hook big. Who cares, right? I mean, we know what we're doing in the U.S., don't we? Yeah, we're all so sexually stable. How's that teenage pregnancy rate? Doing good, huh? Yeah, have you seen what it is here in South Korea? No? Why don't you look it up? I thought I was going to be the nice girl. I thought I was going to be the hey, guess what? These guys are really fun. They're really not, and they are. But you know what? If you want to figure that stuff out, you know where to find it. You've got an internet. You can troll all day long. You can be nasty. You can do all kinds of things. You can look at smut and crap. Google this shit. Figure it out like the rest of us. Spend the time. Invest in somebody else to find out what they're about. Really look at it. Ask questions. If you don't care, then move about the cabin. Go do your own thing. But if you really want to know, there's really great people out here that really want to share this happiness. And if you're so deep down in the shit that you can't even remember what happiness is, what celebration is, what camaraderie is, you got to go see somebody, man. You really need to get some help. Or just go to a fucking K-pop concert and just watch. Watch people be happy. It's an old thing we used to do back in the old days. We were happy. I think we smiled once in a while. God, I'm really a bitch now. Well, in any event. So, also, I'm afraid that, political things may come into light with this whole thing about the media blackout. Also, I think our media is a bunch of shit, and who knows who's shit and who's not. But that's how bad it is, that you can't even tell the good from the bad. We're so mired down in all kinds of crap, we really don't know who's in the shit, right? We see our president going blah, 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 tweet, 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 and then the news is going blah, 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 eat it all up, eat it all up. It's like, if somebody shits on the floor, you don't jump in the shit with them, right? You walk around it and walk away. That's not what's going on. So I wouldn't be surprised if South Korea says, you know what? We don't know what these people say. All we know is their media is batshit crazy because they actually engage with this president who's having a Twitter war, right? They actually tolerate it. Remember, the rest of the world is watching us. I was here the day that our president got elected, I was here like the next day. You know what they said? Why? They were polite, but why? And I watched their money just drop. We fucking affect people. People's lives who didn't do anything to us. Didn't do anything wrong to us. Cause and effect. Seriously. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. People really piss me off. Also, I think that challenging the social narratives. I think it's quite possible that South Korea might be like, you know what? These people, we've seen their history. They're not going to understand our cultural differences. They're not going to understand what skinship is. I guarantee you they're going to just think it's all gay. They're going to see men with makeup and men who are physically affectionate with each other, and they're going to call us all gay. It baffles the mind that people actually feel like this is appropriate. But again, then I have to look at the internet and go, oh, we're arguing flat earth. We're still talking about a God who won't even come down and tell us to go fuck ourselves, right? I mean, let's not get too crazy here. Poor America doesn't know what to do with their freedom. Doesn't know what to do, but we can find time to criticize other people's cultures and this and that and tell everybody else how to be. And you know what the sad thing is? There are other countries that will fucking follow us still. That's ridiculous. American arrogance, go fuck yourself. Then, you know, I think that it also opens South Korea up to some kind of global criticism if they kind of engage in our silliness. Please, if you tell me not to come home, I'm not going to be hurt. Just so you know. I know I'm being a bitch right now, just the way I feel. I don't like being like this. But man, I had children. I've got grandchildren still in that country, in the US. I expected, my grandmother, when she came over here, expected more. To not have to put up with racism. I mean, my grandparents had to move to California to get married because they were quote unquote interracial. Today's standards, not so much, but still, we're doing all kinds of bullshit. One of the other things is BTS is new, right? They're newer. There's what, 15 years or more of maybe more than that. I mean, even I don't know everything. JYP and these guys, they were around quite a while ago. So I mean, I'm thinking the 80s, so maybe we're talking 30 years, maybe 25. Anyways, I'll figure it out. There's a lot of people who've been around a long time. Big Bang, who is having some people going to the military right now. Top is in the military, and so some things are changing for them. Last year, they made like $45 million. That's more money than Maroon 5. How many of you know them that aren't K-pop fans? I mean, they're huge everywhere else in the world. It's a whole globe of people. America. But yet we think our shit don't stink. We know everything. If we don't know it, it must be crap. $45 million, right? It's a lot of money. Super Junior. I don't think they're really around anymore. A lot of the people are around. Shiny. It goes on and on and on. The people that are out there. 2 p.m., 2 a.m. Gosh, I mean, I know I'm missing Vix, Winner, great band. I know I'm going to miss somebody really big, and I feel really bad about that. History, did I say History? There's lots. Oh, EXO, I'm sorry. EXO, absolutely. EXO's very big. They have a huge following. There are people that have been doing this for a long, long time. And I would not be surprised if South Korea says, you know what? America's crazy about these guys. America's kind of fucked up right now. Maybe we just sit back and wait and see what happens, right? Well, the rest of the world is too, and the rest of the world's not as screwed up as we are. So I think, unfortunately, they may be taking the brunt of it for, our bad reputation. There's certainly lots of, if you follow Bangtan Soyeondan, if you BTS, please look at some of the other people. There's great groups out there, some new guys coming up, and some old guys that are out there that are still fabulous as well. There's 17 that's new, Icon, 17, SF9, Day 6. Oh God, I don't want to miss these guys either. There's BTOB. They're fabulous. Make you feel things. Ay. B1A4, BA14, B1A4, I'm sorry. Who else? Oh my gosh, there's so many and I'm missing them. There's a ton. Just Google K-pop. You can find a lot of really, really great music. And anybody that you do find, go ahead and go back and check their old stuff out. There's a lot of great stuff. I mean, Shiny is... Shiny. Why do you run from me, Minho? Why? Why do you run from me? Anyways, GOT7. GOT7, one of the hardest working groups in K-pop, in my opinion. Jackson Wang, huge star all over the world. Big in China. He's Chinese. I used to be on the Chinese fencing team. His parents were gold medal winning athletes as well. You'll find out so much. There's so much to learn about this culture. This culture celebrates unity. They celebrate being together. They want to be together. They want to make a good society. What's that like? We're so busy labeling each other down to the smallest little increment. Like we really know what's going on. I mean, is nobody else looking to the rest of the globe? And I'm not just talking South Korea. Anywhere else in the world, who's doing what right? Okay, we'll take that, some of that, and we'll take some of that, and we'll take some of that. No. The minute we see men being physically affectionate with each other, we yell, gay, like that's a bad thing. I gotta tell you, when BTS first wanted to go or started talking about going to the US, I think many of us, international armies were freaked out. As a matter of fact, I know we had conversations about it. We're like, I don't know if they should go. And a lot of us have felt a huge loss because we don't have the same access to them anymore, right? It's huge. And they create such a bond with us, a real bond. We're not all crazy, right? We're not all lonely spinsters just sitting around waiting for young Asian boys to turn us on. It's bigger than that. Right? It's really bigger than that. And thank you for trivializing it down to nothing. Thanks for taking humanity and unity and people who just want to fucking be nice and happy and sing and dance and get on with shit and inspire each other. Inspires. Thanks for making it dirty and nasty, just like you do with sex and everything else. So, if you just want to hang out in the K-pop world, so you can laugh or make jokes or go find some SJW to screw with. Go find somebody else who's really not contributing to great stuff in this world. Go play with them. Because the rest of us in the world, we'd actually like to be happy, right? We would. We really genuinely want to be happy. We really believe that together, globally, we can make a difference. We really believe this. Crazy, huh? We must be fucking insane. I'm not making any more apologies. These men are more men than I have ever seen in my entire 52 fucking years. 53 when I'm here. Thanks, South Korea. I'm even older when I'm here. They're more men than a lot of men that I've ever seen. With all the makeup and all the tight clothes and all the camaraderie and the touching and the pepero and everything that freaks out you other men and women. Because this is not just isolated to men. I'm not a man hater. Go get freaked out someplace else. We just want to be happy. So, have at it. What was that? Under an hour? Yeah, you'll find fault with it. Remember, we're all in this together. Humanity is humanity's role model, right? What we tolerate will continue. What you allow will continue. Two wrongs don't make a right. Treat people the way you want to be treated. If I was being an ass, I would want someone to take me to task and say, hey, you're being ridiculous. And maybe I'm being ridiculous right now, but I kind of feel like I'm standing up for people. I'm standing up for me, and most of all, me, right? This is my choice, my life, my one life. This makes me happy. So many people are involved in the creation of what 7 men put forward. So it's not just Korean boy bands that I dig. It is the collective, the humanity behind it that breeds those kind of people, that grooms those kind of people, that celebrates those kind of people, that makes them sexy as hell. I make no apologies. Do the right thing the right way every time, no matter who's watching. Remember, we're all in this together. Do something good for yourself, do something good for others. It's really that easy. See ya. Let the comments begin. Ding, ding, ding. Fighting. This should be good.